When you say difficult,
well, I mean, obviously, Yuri, what I'm looking for is when we finish a text, when we finish a story, it's good for me to hear like what worked or what didn't work. It's kind of like me checking in, like how can I do it better the next time? That's really what I'm asking. So I mean, you know, I think you can interpret that and sort of make, you know, a statement about it. You know, hey, maybe we could have done this, or you know, when we did this, it would have been better if you did it this way. All right. Maybe we should have spent more time on the vocabulary. Maybe we should have defined more of the concepts that we talked about. Something like that. Okay, I see more of them. That's good. That's good. The thing I want you to do is, and I'd like for you to actually get up and walk around. I'd like for you to talk to somebody that you don't normally talk to as a means of us getting to know each other a little bit better. And even, you know, it's just good for us to switch partners every now and again. But what I want you to do with this partner is, I want you to talk about a time in your life when you wanted something else from someone's life, something you didn't have, and you experienced the feeling of envy. Does everybody know what envy is? Jealousy. We good? Well, it's a form of jealousy. It's kind of a desire that you look at someone else and you really like what they have, and you kind of selfishly want the same thing. Kind of the same thing. Let's go about 4 minutes on this. Ready? Set. Stand up. Walk around. You know, it's good to stretch. Get the blood flowing. Exercise a little bit. Walk around a little bit. Oh. Alright, so why do you think I had you discuss a time that you felt envy?
because of the story.
Like, what in the story do you think that connects to?
Their envious of their neighbor's life.
Okay, so the who envies the who?
The
Millers envy the stones. Okay, good. Alright, and so if you look on those first two paragraphs on page 86, what do we learn about the Millers and Stones? What's the atmosphere that's created from this exposition, this introduction on these two couples in the story? You know, what impression does the exchange between the two couples give you? Kind of, what's the mood? What's the atmosphere? So let's go about another 4 or 5 minutes with your partner at your tables. Talk about this sort of introduction to the two couples that we meet. What's the mood or atmosphere that we get from them? Ready, set, go.
It's like the Millers are like.
And write down. Pick out some quotes and write down why.
How do you get to those the Millers just kind of like are like they just live like black and white.
Yeah, exactly. They live in black and white.
Yeah, and then the Stones just like they're like happy. They're like kind of content with what they have, and like.
And then you can see that like trying to get Millers and stuff.
Yeah.
Millers all weird.
The dude.
Yeah,
that was true.
But
in the first paragraph, it says like,
I guess it's implied I mean, sorry.
And like they're kind of born and the stones look the fool and bright eyes and
It says mostly in comparison to the lives of
The
Millers.
Millers, because they live in the same place, their lives are so different.
Ooh, I like that. They're in the same setting, but it's like they're just like different sides of the story.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we get? Let's just make a little list here.
The Millers are like living in black and white, and the Stones' life are full of color.
I like that.
It's totally brighter and full of
myself.
light, full of brighter.
That's a good use of language. That's a really good use of language.
Braxton.
So why, Aiden, would you say the Millers are in black and white? What's black and white about their lives?
They just kind of like.
They feel alone.
Okay, they feel lonely.
Bill attends to his bookkeeping duties, and Arlene is occupied with.
They kind of just like lower
Secretary.
themselves. Like they just like. They kind of just don't hold themselves to a high standard in a way.
Okay,
Like.
so hold themselves to a higher standard.
Yeah, they talk about wanting to go on vacation and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's really good. They want to do things, but they don't. Okay? Alright, do you know someone in your own life right now who's like that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Alright? And, do you ever say to them, hey, why don't you strike out and like do something different? Or like,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's sure.
I mean, I would say this, like on a very basic level, when I was about 19 or 20, I decided, I'm gonna be that guy. And that's why I left my hometown. I moved to the West Coast first, and then I moved to Asia after that. And I just wanted to do things differently. Then one thing that I saw about Little Roanoke, Virginia, sleepy Little Roanoke, Virginia in the 1980s, 1990s was everybody was the same. It was very vanilla to me.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to try to experience, as much of life as I possibly could. Right, so in color, what are the ways that the stones, go ahead.
I feel like it's also, the Millers, I don't know, but I feel like the Millers would go out on vacation if they had financial.
Okay, no, all right. So do you think, and where do they live? Like an apartment. And do you think it's a nice apartment building? Do you think it's, what social economic class do you think both families are?
Middle class.
They're middle class, and what's the time period, do you think?
I think
Right.
2000.
So obviously
Yeah,
it's America.
Yeah, I don't think it's that long ago.
It's middle class.
Yeah, but they sit down here.
They have TV.
They held each other by the elbows and
Probably like
kissed
the
on the
90s.
lips.
Okay, I hear the 1990s.
What girls nowadays?
Probably 90s, because what girls is kissing on the lips nowadays?
Yeah.
I
I don't know anybody that's doing that.
I'm just keeping it big.
So you guys think, like, in the 20th century, people had a higher tendency to kiss on the lips?
Well, like girl and
Well,
girl.
girl, yeah, they kissed each other before they
yeah.
left.
I misunderstood that.
No, I think they still do that.
What?
I never seen that.
I don't know where you live.
Just like a pleasantry.
Well, I know like a
On the lips?
Yeah,
I
it's
like
not
the
like.
Italian.
Yeah,
I
but
never
when
seen
you are hanging out, when you're hanging out with your friends, you just see like two girls kiss. It's not weird to you.
Well, these like not girls our age.
But I think,
Even adults.
to Braxton's point, I think it's the context of it, Braxton. Like if they just walk up and that's the first time they've seen each other in like a day or two, maybe that would be more appropriate, or especially if they hadn't seen each other for a long time. But it's also cultural. So I mean, if you go to Europe, I think people it's very common. I feel like very, very common. Now, if you go to like China or Japan, it's very uncommon that you would see that. So I think the culture and the context are sort of important to understand.
We're in America,
Art Miller
right?
and Stone. Actually,
Well, you're right. So go ahead.
actually, I don't know if that's like right, but like Art Miller and Stone, like normally, what's it called, Caucasian. Like last
Okay.
year's.
Do those sound like very Caucasian names?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, thinking about the names, think about Miller and think about Stone.
Jamie Miller.
What kind of association do you make to those names? First, we got Caucasian. All right. What else?
I don't know, kind of just like.
Miller's a school.
Miller's like flowy, Stone.
Okay, a miller is like milling. You're kind of going around in circles. You're not really like tethered to one thing in terms of, kind of finding the way. Now think about stone.
Stone is in one place.
Stone is
You don't
one
move.
place. Stone is solid. Stone is a foundation. Stone is sturdy. Stone is kind of sure of itself in a way. Right? So do you kind of see some of the symbolism
Oh, yeah.
between these two names, how they interact with each other? I think that's very purposeful on the part of Ray Carver here. I think he's trying to create an image in our mind that's associated with these two names, which is really, really important for this story. Now, what are the ways that the Stones' life is in color? What are they doing that's different than the Millers?
I just had a question. Though.
Yeah, go ahead.
I still sort of don't understand how those things up there are associated with black and white.
Okay, well, maybe once we establish the color, that juxtaposition will be a little clearer. But I mean, I think on one level, the Stones seem so much happier with the choices that they're making. And what does it say as far as where they're going or what they're doing? Are they just staying at home and going to their job?
Is it the mill? Where are you talking about the Millers?
I'm talking about the Stones. Are they just staying home and going to their job?
No.
No, they're traveling more. All right, so I think travel is one way. What else?
Animal.
Have a pet. Okay. If you're a newly either married couple or you're a couple that's just moved in together and is at the
They got
beginning of a
plans, too.
relationship, like what are you sort of aspiring to do?
Other family.
Family. Okay. And I mean, there are a couple details that'll come out as we work through those. And just as a matter of housekeeping, take out your device and turn in your practice essay. There is an assignment now in the Google Classroom for that. And I'm sorry I didn't put one there. Kind of busy weekend. The snow is coming down.
We were only supposed to get like 0.2 inches. Now we got
Awesome. I definitely think we're getting more than that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we got 0.2 in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah. Kind of crazy.
And I mean, this morning when I got up, I looked outside and I was like, oh, honey, you can take Mia to school, no problem. Those roads look completely clean.
Yeah. And then it's just.
I mean, I'm glad. Like, I talked to Mrs. Dickerson, like I usually do every morning, and she's like, it's gonna get worse. She's like, believe me. She's like, I'm warning you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna listen to you, Kat.
Yeah.
I figure she knows. She's local. All right. So then, once you do that, you can next go to the Padlet, which is also in the Google Classroom. And a little bit different with the entry ticket today. The entry ticket today is actually something we're going to use in the lesson today. And for the entry ticket, I want you to tell me about, is there something you're curious about the author or the historical context to the story that we're working on? Neighbors.
What story was it? Oh,
Neighbors. The last one we worked on. We didn't quite finish it. We'll work on it again today, and we'll definitely finish it up today.
somebody called you or something?
So, take a few minutes, just enter that directly into this post. Just tell me what you're interested in about either the author, and remember, what time did we say the story was set in?
You should put it in Google
I'm
Classroom.
about to say, because I can't really.
I can't.
Yeah, we'll just like type.
Yeah, we won't get it.
Okay, hang on 1 second. Yeah, you guys can go ahead and enter it into the Google Classroom. Go ahead and do that. Sorry about that.
Yeah, put it on Google now.
Yeah. This is.
Sorry, Mr. Chip, I was in the wrong class.
Okay.
I'll take a look at that.
I want to know what the heck. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's not historical, that's you.
I wonder when it. Those is the standard one. The stones. Oh yeah. Those are
The front one? No, it's just normal. It's just normal.
the stones.
The Millers are the one that didn't do them.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
You know what we're doing.
What's that? This.
Interesting. We just put it in Google Classroom. There's no-
Yeah, just put it in Google Classroom.
Oh. As an announcement.
Just in the stream.
Just the Millers at the
All of it.
Really?
Okay. I guess we're just gonna have to use Google Classroom today. Can't quite figure it out. Alright, let's see what we got. Alright. So, the ages of the two couples. Well, what do you think? It's the 1970s or 1980s. Neither of them had kids. What do we think would be the ages?
Mid-20s.
30, mid-20s, 30.
Mid-20s, why? Why would we think?
Because normally don't they have kids pretty young back then? Like in their like, you know, late 20s, mid-20s.
They don't do it like Mr. Crook does it.
I mean, you just had people in your class where.
Yeah. So when I was in high school, and this was, you know, the mid to the late 80s, there were 6 girls in my graduating class who dropped out to have a kid. And I think that number was smaller then, and definitely into the 90s that got smaller and smaller and smaller. And now, how many do you think there are?
0, 1.
1, 0.
I mean, you know, obviously I think it still happens,
I
but
can give it a guess.
I think it's very rare. But the question is, why? Why do you think it's like that? Why do you think it's so, you know? There should be a couple reasons here. What do you think those are?
Because women can be independent now, doesn't mean it's allowed somehow.
They can't be independent?
They
And
can.
they can.
Alright. What else?
Hey, I don't know, I feel like it's more frowned upon, I guess.
Okay, more frowned upon. And why?
Just because, like, it's like kind of just like the expectation to go to college and get your education.
Okay, I think that's one thing, is college, but why would, do you think that you're married when you're 17 or 18 in high school?
No.
No. And so if you have a kid without being married, what is that? What's the implication there?
Basically getting there.
Okay. So there's a phrase here I want you guys to learn. It's called out of wedlock. Necessarily bad. I think, you know, with everything you want to do it in moderation. I think that's just a good way to be. Right, let's watch this video on what life was like in America in the 1980s.
The middle class was once a symbol of the American dream, representing financial stability and endless opportunities. But today, it seems to be a thing of the past.
The middle class is no longer the majority in America.
What has happened to the American middle class, those people whose drive and optimism have lifted the nation out of
How was it different in... Oh no, I just heard that noise. I was like, what's that? How was it different in the 1980s? And how, just how was it different in the 1980s? Just do that. And put that right there in that one.
How is it different to today?
Yeah. How is it different in the 1980s from today? Change that.
Did you mean to put how was it different changing from the 60s and 70s?
I mean, that was my first thought. How was it different? Today from the 1980s.
The middle class.
There we go.
Nervous anchovy.
They're great names.
The middle class was once a symbol of the American dream.
Yeah, American
Okay.
dream was middle class.
That's actually a pretty good answer. The average living quality was much higher and more affordable in the past. Okay, we go 5 now. More families were financially stable and can afford to live
The
well
middle class
without
was once
worry. That's good, all right? Thank you, fabulous Flamingo. Trustworthy Dragonfly. You were able to afford more luxuries in the past without breaking the bank. Let's look at this right here. How do we spell luxuries? Is there a possessive there?
Yes, bro. What are you doing, embarrassing?
I-E-S. I-E-S. All right? No, it's never a bad thing just to correct a little bit of grammar. That's all. That's all. That's all. All right. Hold on. Let me go through the rest of these. More family could afford all the costs to live, which is absolutely true. All right. Families, could we just say this out of all these comments? Life was easier in the 1980s financially, right? I think that that's an important thing. All right, the next thing I want to look at is this. Let's see here. This graphic organizer. All right. So this is a mind map of the story. Okay?
It's crazy.
Right, so the very first scene, we have the contrast between these two, right? And AI says that, the Millersfield passed by and dull, right? So I think that adds a little bit to the difference between them and also the reason why the Millers envy the Stones. It says for the Stones, they have a full, brighter life. The other thing, he is a traveling salesman. And the other thing as well as they entertain often. Like, do your own parents have a lot of parties? Do they have a lot of guests? Do they have people who come over a lot? He says no. Murray? No. No.
A good amount.
A good amount. You're?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Aiden?
Like once every 2 months or something.
Once every 2 months. Man, when I was a kid, it was just constant. It was like they would have bridge on the weekends. If they weren't at our house, they were going to someone else's house. Like that happened a lot. It seems like I look at myself and I'm just like, I'm so boring compared to like my parents.
Yeah.
Like they had this huge social life, but they were really more involved in like church and other sort of social organizations. Like we were also in Boy Scouts. Like me and my brother and my dad were in this Boy Scout troop.
How was that?
Dude, it was awesome.
I was part of it.
Like that Boy Scout troop, we had like almost 50 guys in it, man. It was incredible. It was great, man. It was really good.
Sorry.
All right. So So the Stones leave for 10 days. So what you need to do right now is take out your stories, and the part where we need to pick up is, what does Arlene do when she's in the Stones apartment? Go ahead and talk about that with your partner or partners right now. And go ahead, all you need to do is to put one answer into the post. What happens as she enters into their apartment?
No.
Yeah.
Are we serious?
She did some crazy shit.
Arlene.
And so we're, I can hear you guys talking back there. We are trying to kind of compare her to Bill, like Arlene to Bill. Is she in kind of the same headspace
They're both bad.
that he's into?
I don't know. I think.
Well, just look for her. Look for her right now. Look at the text. Like, everything that we do as far as analysis, it's always based on the text. You need a story?
This AI, yeah.
Anybody else need a story? You know, you can type it in there, but you can just tell it to me verbally as well. You know, this is a, reproduction of that scene that really comes before the story even starts, all right? It's where Mrs. Stone comes home with the clock swaddled like a baby. So what do you think the symbolism of this is?
She respects it.
She cares about
Time? Yeah.
Okay, time, obviously. But think about it, the clock is swaddled like a baby. There's a combination of kind of two things right here. And let me give you a hint. All women, no, that's right. That's not wrong. That's not wrong. But that's not what I was sort of going for. All women go through this. All women.
like periods.
Yeah.
No.
That's not.
It's true. No. It's not wrong. But that's not what I was sort of going for. It's like all women think about
Having a kid.
good. And how does time relate to that here?
They need to have it by a certain age or something.
Yes, that's it, 100%. All women are worried that they're going to get too old to have kids. Right? I mean, of course, some women don't want to have children, like that happens. But, I mean, women do because they have that thing that's called a biological clock, right?
Yeah.
So part of the symbolism of this is that, you have to have the kid by a certain time. The other part of it is like, this is Mrs. Stone. How does she seem relative to the clock that's swaddled like a baby? She seems very kind of at one, at peace with it. Like Lastly, we're just about 5 minutes away. This is what I want you to write about tonight. If I can get this thing to come up. Okay. How does symbolism work to help Carver create his message for the reader? All right, and I'll put that picture from this post into the Google Classroom. But also, and you can choose one of these. You can do one or two, and you're just writing a paragraph. That's all. Shouldn't take you but about 15 or 20 minutes. Okay. I'd like for you to use a little bit of evidence in it. I mean, we just talked about the symbolism of the baby and the clock. There's a couple other things you can use as far as symbolism in there, but what do you think the message is? Let's just talk about that for these last 3 or 4 minutes. What do you think his message is?
Yeah, I feel like.
Wait, do you help me understand the ending? Like, I know they got locked out of the Stones, right?
Okay, and so this is good. This is a great conversation. What do you think is going to happen to the Millers now Because they're locked out of both apartments.
Yeah, they're screwed.
Right? For one. For two, I think that it's pretty clear that the Stones, if they don't get back in the apartment, the Stones are going to know that they've been going through their thing.
That's gonna be mad.
Okay, and so Rita